welcome to Faith in New Works. I'm Bishop Murphy, and I'm your host. Today is a special pleasure for me to welcome a guest who means a great deal to me personally. In June, I was happy to appoint him as the new COO, Chief Operating Officer of the Diocese of Rockville Centre. He's also a member of the cabinet that oversees the administration, the pastoral life of the diocese. His name is Charles M. Trunz III, and I want to welcome you, Charles, and tell you how happy I am that you're with us today.
Thank you very much, Bishop.
You know, as you know, the Diocese of Rockville Centre is first and foremost the church on Long Island, and our task is to bring Christ to people and people to Christ. And while that is the work of all of us in various different ways, a big operation like this, we're the fifth largest diocese in the United States, there's a lot of structure and a lot of administration. And we priests don't have degrees in business and the like, but you come to us to this new post that we just established from a very, very rich background, in which I'll share with the folks what you've been doing before you came to work here with us on the diocese.
Well, thank you again, Bishop. It's my pleasure to be here. As you know, first and foremost, I'm a Catholic, and I'm a member of the parish of St. Mary's of Manhasset, and my faith has really been what's guided me through my life, and I've been very fortunate with a number of business experiences, which I think prepare me well for this new task. First of all, graduated from Georgetown University. I graduated with a degree in accounting, and I have a CPA, where I worked for Ernst & Young, CPA firm, for a number of years. And then I moved over to the banking side, where I was with J.P. Morgan for about 21 years. And within that capacity, I was the CFO of its investment bank, Global Investment Bank. Then I moved over to be president of J.P. Morgan Securities, an investment bank, when we got into new businesses in the areas of investment banking that banks were precluded from doing. And then from there, I became the chief operating officer for our global investment bank and our global sales and trading businesses. And then in around the year 2001, I left to do community service, actually, for the North Shore Health System. Within that capacity, I was hired to be a full-time employee, where I served as a chief operating officer, co-chief operating officer for the North Shore Health System's hospitals. And then, so I've had a various degree of finance backgrounds, operating backgrounds, and strategic backgrounds, and many leadership capacities.
And the wonderful thing is that the first time you and I met, you simply said to me, I want to do something for the diocese.
Right.
And little did we know it would end up being the new and first chief operating officer. But the good thing, as you know, was I was talking for some time with the Diocesan Finance Council, the group of laymen and women who advise the bishop on many of the administrative aspects of the life of the church, particularly the good use of our investments, how it is we should care for real estate, all of those administrative things that are necessary to keep our diocese a healthy place where we can proclaim the Lord Jesus. And they were of one mind that we needed a COO so that someone could really pick up the reins of the administrative side of this very large diocese, someone who has the qualifications to do that, and to do that in a way that would be that of a really truly committed human being. And while I had met you before and knew that you had volunteered, it was wonderful when I discovered that the people they worked with to look around and find candidates, they all agreed on you. So it was an easy choice for me, and I'm very, very happy with the results.
Wow.
I think a lot of people, Charles, say, what's a COO? And particularly, what's a COO doing in the Catholic Church? Do you want to kind of give a sense of the sort of things that you see as important and your vision of what you're going to be doing?
Well, certainly. And I must say, I've been with the church now in terms of this capacity for 6 months. And what I didn't realize as a parishioner, as a Catholic, is how much the church does for Long Island and how big the church is, stretching from the borders of Queens to Montauk. And when we look at this organization, your organization, the Catholic Church of Long Island, it has over 200 operating entities. As you know, it has 133 parishes and 56 schools and telecare and seminaries and a Long Island Catholic and, importantly, Catholic charities. And it's a large organization with revenues and expenses exceeding $400 million. with employees of about 5,000 employees. So it's a very, very large organization. And my task as Chief Operating Officer is to understand all of its operations, to begin to bring us together as one organization, as one community, as one Catholic Church of Long Island, where my responsibility, servicing you and the church, is to determine how we organize and how we allocate financial resources to each of our ministries. And as you know, we have 5 key ministries, as we state in our Catholic Ministries Appeal, that being the pastoral and liturgical side, education, faith formation, vocation, and Catholic charities. And as we think, not just for today as a Chief Operating Officer, but we want to think about where we want to be in the year 2015, so that we're growing as an organization, so that we're preparing ourselves to serve our ministries and serve our parishioners in the community, not just for today, but how we're prepared for tomorrow and the future. And that's what I see as my task, and to serve up a series of strategies and recommendations to you and others to determine how we allocate our priorities and our resources to meet that objective.
You know, there are 2 elements in that come to mind as I listen to you. The first is the fact that, as you know, and we both are in great agreement, and one member of the Finance Council always reminds us, all of the administration of the diocese is here to serve the pastoral goals
Absolutely.
of the church. And you mentioned those 5 great areas, that they really are what we're about. So the measure is not the bottom line in the sense that we're a for-profit that's just trying to make money. Just the opposite.
Absolutely.
We give it away.
Right.
But our measure is, does this serve the pastoral goals of the Catholic Church? Does it serve the people of God who are in our parishes? And does it serve the wider community?
Right.
But you know, and you've come to know this, just permit me to say this, and I know you'll agree, we have a very wonderful group of men and women who have worked in a lot of these fields, finance, insurance, all kinds of different human resources. You go down, as any large group has to have these. I've always thought that we have tried to operate on a shoestring because we don't want to spend too much money, and our people have worked hard, but we don't really give people the time to take a look at the whole picture.
Right.
And to my mind, one of the great gifts you bring here is you've come in here with the idea of, let's take a look at the whole thing, and not just to say, solve this problem and that problem, but let's solve the problems but also look to the future.